I got the really incredible opportunity in 2006 to be the bass player for a professional rock band. The band was called The Terms, and we had a CD that was sold at Best Buy around the United States called Small Town Computer Crash. And like, we were actually on this night, September 30th, 2006, we were headed to a show in Monroe, Louisiana, and we're less than 3 or 4 miles away from the show in a residential neighborhood. A young student, 16 years old, had his learner's permit. He got a text message in his car while he was driving, picked it up but dropped it. And when he bent down to pick it up, he misses his stop sign, hits our car. I'm in the back seat. Nobody had a seatbelt on, of course, because we were just going to the show and nobody had a seatbelt on. But when the car hits, I hit my head on the right side of the door and I was thrown to the back end of the 4Runner we were in. A man lived about 3 houses down with the wreck happened. He hears it, comes outside, comes to the scene, and is the very first one to find me in the back of the car. This man, his name is Gary Brooks, and he ends up being a Monroe firefighter who teaches CPR classes on the side. So where else more beautiful could that have been, you know? He tells me he's the first one to find me, pulls me out of the car, places me in the ground, had to clip my mouth because I had spit up some stuff, and I was legally considered dead. I had not been breathing for about 8 or 9 minutes. He gave me CPR and he saved my life. So honestly, every year since then, when I've been able to, I've given Gary Brooks a call or a text or like a Facebook message to him. Thank you, sir, for saving my life. I was taken to the hospital in Monroe. That's where the wreck was. From that, in my recovery, I was diagnosed with a third nerve palsy in my left eye. It was facing this way considerably after the wreck, because you know when the car hits on this side, it basically hit my left eye that way. Well, I've had 6 eye surgeries since then, like 4 on my left and 2 on my right to get them more in line, as well as raised my eyelid a couple times. And I had like 5 neck fractures. I was in a neck brace for 6 months. I was diagnosed with tracheal stenosis, which is like an inflammation of your throat, and they told my parents when they arrived at the hospital in Monroe, it was St. Francis Hospital in Monroe, they told my parents that my throat was only 50% the size that it normally should be, so I had to have a breathing trach put in my throat, and it was connected to my esophagus, of course. I've had like 3 throat surgeries. My throat is open to 90% now, from 50 to 90%, and like after I got the trach out, I had the trach in my throat for 10 months, I still had a gigantic hole from the trach in my throat. It's about the size of a quarter, and it was so deep I could stick my finger into like the second joint, you know, so it was really deep. And in February of 2018, I had the hole closed up, so that's scar number 1. Like, I had a huge piece of glass sticking on my right arm, 2 huge cuts on my side. It's like scars still there, of course. Since it's the right side of my brain, the left side of my body was harmed the most, and my left arm was in a cast for about 4 months, and then a sling for 6 months. Had a collapsed lung. Since my throat was so much smaller, I couldn't have solid food coming down my throat, so I'd have a peg tube, but it was only fed liquid for 6 months. And after the 6 months was over and I got the peg tube out, I still to this day have an indentation in my stomach from where the peg tube was. So I would tell students when I give my inspirational talk that it's like I had 2 belly buttons, just because I'm silly, of course, and then like 2 mouths because I had a huge hole, and y'all get it, but yeah. Since January of 2007, I've actually been from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane, and May 23rd, 2007, I started walking by myself again. I started speech, occupational, and physical therapies at Willis Knight North here in Shreveport. I learned pretty much everything all over again, like how to walk, how to move my arms, how to do all that kind of things. And when I started getting a little bit better, Sherry Talley Lemire, they used to work for KTBS Channel 3 News. They heard about my story and they decided to film a miracle worker story of myself with KTBS News. And so Sherry Talley Lemire and a cameraman come to my house, interviewed my mom, Scott Lassane, the drummer for the band, and myself, and it aired on TV in 2007. Well, when that aired, a man named Bob Morgan, who used to be the owner of Fit Nation in Bossier City, he actually graduated from college with Sherry Talley, so he gives her a call to get in touch with me. I basically get talked to this man, and he offers me a free membership to his gym, as well as free personal training from him. So it's like, sure, guys, thank you. once I could walk again and do everything, I dropped out of college to be in this professional rock band. You know, it was all amazing. We traveled around the United States playing shows. Been to New York City 3 times, Los Angeles twice. We got to play at the House of Blues in New Orleans 2 times. Opened up for big names at the time like Hootie and the Blowfish, Better Than Ezra, Blues Traveler. In 2008, I enrolled back at school at LSUS, and before I got into the band and I dropped out of college, I was majoring in chemistry because I was thinking about going to med school and like, oh, it'd be a better idea. So my first semester back in 2008 at LSUS, I was majoring in chemistry again because I was like, hey, maybe go to the med school and be Dr. TBI. But I realized that was not going to be the case because my memory was shot and I couldn't really remember stuff very well. Although my next semester I switched to general studies as my major. And I spoke with a few of my professors, and I was really thankful for this, of course, because my grandma actually gave me a handheld like tape recorder so I could record all of my classes. So I would record my classes, take notes from while I was in class, but then, you know, listen to the recordings afterwards, and it was awesome. Well, I was back at school for 5 semesters before I graduated in 2010, but what was cool was that the day I graduated was May 23rd, 2010, the 3-year anniversary that I learned to walk. Walked across the stage to get my college diploma. Yes, it was a Bachelor's of Science in General Studies. Awesome. But get this was kind of cool as well. 2009 was actually a really excellent year for myself as well because both semesters of 2009 actually made the honor roll in college, you know. I actually was able to become the bass player for the LSUS Jazz Band 2009. Also, the band that was in the Terms, we actually had a reunion show in Shreveport. We played at the Revel 2009. We opened up for Pat Green when he came to town. But they tell me this was our 3rd time I opened up for Pat Green, but it was like the first time for me because I was in the band for about 9 months and traveled around the United States. I don't remember any of it because a student dropped his cell phone, tried to pick it up, missed the stop sign. So that's no good, of course. But Scott Lassane, the drummer for the band, his father, Jacques Lassane, he actually wrote a book on the whole subject, like the wreck, the band, everything, you know, and my recovery and stuff like that. It was called Email Connections, Tragedy and Triumph of the Terms. And it was beautiful. It was published in 2009, so that was an extra, you know. And then I actually gave my first ThinkFirst presentation in December of 2009. So, you know, everything was just awesome. And then 2010, graduated from college. Beautiful. And like I said, I've been helping ThinkFirst since December of 2009. But I've been able to, like, it's so rewarding to me because I'm able to go, and the way I see it is when I give my talk, I basically tell the story I just told the camera, of course, but like when I tell the students this, you know, hopefully they could find an inspiration to, you know, think first before they use their cell phone, because that was the main and only reason we were in the wreck.